And after that tragic event last night, one town in Sequoyah County is coming together to raise money for the families impacted. 5 News reporter Parker Abrils tells us the town of Roland is now changing its fireworks plans for Saturday.
This year, the annual Roland 4th of July celebration will look a little different, as after the fire involving 3 Sequoyah County residents, they decided to use their celebration to support their community.
You know, these young men that were the victims of the horrific accident, we thought about canceling it, but we have close to 60 vendors from all over Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even one from Texas coming up has already bought product for this festival, so we was trying to figure out what options we had. So we got to thinking and talking, had a meeting, and we decided just to turn this into benefit to help these young families out and try to provide support for them and still have a place for vendors in the town to come together and support them.
And while Richard says they don't know the families personally, they felt like they needed to do something.
I don't know these young men, but from what I've heard, these are 3 outstanding young men that's very supportive in their communities. So we just that's what we're all about. We want to provide for our community, and just we thought this would be a way to help out.
He says a large majority of the vendors have agreed to donate a portion of their sales to the cause.
I have several vendors that have actually already pledged their support. Karen's Concessions just said that they're gonna provide 20% of sales. One lady out of Texas is bringing pet rabbits, and she usually lets kids pet them for free, but she's going to charge $1.
Richard says they can't wait to see the community come out and support the victims and their families in this time of need. In Roland, covering news where you live, Parker Abrils, 5 News.
That event, by the way, Saturday at Roland Public Park from 4 p.m. to 10. However, whether or not there will be fireworks is yet to be determined. Well, a local psychiatrist accused of Medicaid fraud and holding his patients against their will was arrested today. Benton County jail records show Brian Hyatt was booked today for driving while intoxicated. It's the 3rd time he has been arrested and been involved in while he awaits trial on his Medicaid fraud case. Prosecutors are now requesting the court install a device in Hyatt's vehicle that can check if he's been drinking. A hearing for those requests expected to happen on July 11th. That Medicaid fraud trial, by the way, set for October. House has given approval to the president's budget bill today. The policy package has now passed through both chambers of Congress and now awaits the president's signature. That is expected to happen sometime tomorrow at the White House. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, signed off on the bill after the House voted along party lines to advance it today. The 10-year spending plan includes $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, along with more than $1 trillion in cuts to government programs. The president spoke to supporters in Iowa tonight about the budget plan, which he says will help deliver on promises he made on the campaign trail.
There could be no better birthday present for America than the phenomenal victory we achieved just hours ago when Congress passed the one big, beautiful bill to make America great again.
All of the House delegation from Arkansas and Oklahoma voted for the bill. Congressman Steve Womack released this statement saying, in part, the bill delivers on the direction Americans gave in the last election. It protects the country from tax hikes and strengthens our nation's defense and border security. Republicans say the cuts are aimed at reducing waste, fraud, and abuse. But as that legislation moved through Congress, Democrats raised concerns the spending reductions could affect government health care and food assistance programs. Reporter Rebecca Brown spoke with an economist who warns the cuts could leave more of a burden on state governments.
So it's not just about, this $1 trillion price tag. It's all the downstream effects that are really going to hurt.
Pete Guest and his team at Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families work to improve lives through data-driven policy advocacy. And now they are focusing on the potential consequences of this new federal bill.
Let's say your community is losing, $10 million or $100 million of Medicaid funding. That really is going to hurt local hospitals especially hard.
The bill contains major cuts to programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which support Arkansas families. It's also expected to add trillions to the national debt.
Well, long term, it may actually make it harder for the U.S. to sell bonds for all this debt, which means bond rate and long-term lending rate goes up. So it might actually be more expensive for Arkansans to try to get a home mortgage or a loan for a car.
Guest says his bill also places new financial burdens on state governments.
If we have to start shouldering more and more of that expense, it really squeezes the state budget. And what happens? Where can we make cuts?
Guest says he created a map to bring home the idea of how this will affect communities. It shows all 75 Arkansas counties using data from the U.S. Census Bureau and the Congressional Budget Office, showing Medicaid dollars lost and SNAP benefit dollars lost over the course of 10 years.
For example, Monroe County. So, okay, only 37 million lost, and only 441 people newly uninsured. But that hits that county just as hard, right? There are fewer people there, and so that loss of money that is supporting families in Monroe County is going to be felt there, just like the tremendous loss in Pulaski County.
Rebecca Brown, 5 News.
Here's a live look at the White House tonight. The Congressional Budget Office estimates under the bill's provisions, Medicaid could be cut by $930 billion, with nearly 12 million people at risk of losing health care coverage. The president is scheduled to sign it into law tomorrow with the bill signing ceremony at the White House. With North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis announcing his retirement, it leaves a wide open race to fill that seat. Names of interest in candidates are already floating around on both sides of the aisle. They include President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara, who is a native of North Carolina. Julie Kay with our Verified team went to the experts to find out if she can declare her candidacy.
Laura Trump was born in Wilmington, even graduated from NC State, but currently lives in Florida. We've gotten a lot of questions about if she would be eligible, so let's verify. To answer this, we consulted North Carolina's state and federal election laws. The first question, is Laura Trump eligible to run for Senator Thom Tillis' seat to represent North Carolina? As it stands right now, she couldn't. She does meet the federal requirements for age and citizenship, but she would have to live here at the time of the election. In order to run in a primary, North Carolina law requires a candidate be affiliated with the party for at least 90 days when that person files. You can't register unless you are a resident. As filing is this December, she would need to move back to North Carolina by September. As we wait to see if she runs, other potential GOP contender names floating around: RNC Chairman Mike Whatley and Representative Pat Harrigan. But Tuesday, Harrigan endorsing Laura Trump's potential run, meaning Republicans aren't likely to challenge if she does jump in. On the Democratic side, former U.S. Representative Wiley Nickel is the only person who has said for sure he is running. Former Governor Roy Cooper's name has been floated around. We're told he likely won't have a formal decision for at least a few more weeks. With your Verify, I'm Julie Kay.
Dr. Michael Madsen has died, his family confirming that today, that he was found unresponsive at his home in Malibu from what appeared to be cardiac arrest. Madsen's career included more than 300 films, including Thelma and Louise, as well as several Quentin Tarantino movies. He was 67.